Hello, Queens. Welcome to another episode. It's typical, really, because there are leaf blowers, which I'm very grateful for that they're doing this right outside this office window. And today is the day that I'm recording a hot seat coaching with the lovely Miriam. So you just have to bear with me if you can hear some background noise. I do apologize about that. And so we're going to go into hot seat coaching with Miriam. And Miriam is in my group coaching container, the Body Love Buffet. And if you would like to learn more about that, you can check out all the details on my website. So I'm just going to go and let Miriam in now in the waiting room. And hopefully this background noise isn't too loud. Very excited for this. Hi, Miriam.
Hi, lovely.
Good afternoon, my love. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm also well, thank you. I just said before I let you in to the listeners, as this has been recorded, obviously, there's so many leaf blowers outside my window right now. Can you hear the background noise?
No?
Oh, okay, that's great, because there's like 7 of them, and that's okay, that's good.
Oh, no. Is it cold where you are?
It's about 2 degrees and it was nice and frosty this morning, so it's my kind of weather. What about you?
It's definitely frosty. Everything's crunchy, everything's icy. Definitely winter.
I love it. And what I know you're from South Africa originally, right?
Yeah.
What's the weather like now over there?
Oh, it's absolutely magic. It's the height of summer. So
Oh,
this
wow.
is where everyone would be down at the beach. Everyone would be in bikinis, everyone would be in board shorts, everyone would be eating ice cream, having barbecues. Everyone would just be outside in the pool. It would be absolutely magic weather now.
Wow. So it's similar to Australia in the way that our seasons are like set opposite. Every day's a school day. I didn't know that.
Every day's a school day.
It is. And so, Miriam, would you like to just introduce yourself to those that are going to listen to this and share with us who you are, where you're from, where you are on this food freedom and body love journey, and then what intention you have for this coaching call, and then we can dive right in.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miriam. I live in Bedford in the UK. I've been here about 10 years now, 11 years. I grew up in South Africa. I grew up right on the wine route. Think vines and elephants and giraffes. And I've seen it all. Beautiful place. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in poverty from about 8 to about 21. So, and when I mean poverty, I mean we had a loaf of bread between my mother and I, and it would have to last us 3 days.
Wow.
And that's the only thing we had. We might have had jam or something like that, but we'd have to make that loaf of bread last 3 days, and that was our staple. But then when we'd get money, it would be a feast or a famine. So the first thing we'd do is get pizza and crisps, and I remember rum and raisin ice cream. We'd get a 2-liter box of rum and raisin ice cream, and my mother would cut a line in the middle, and we'd eat until we were sick. We would, but then we knew there was no money for the rest of the month, so we'd have to go back to bread.
Wow.
So it's always a feast or a famine, always celebrated with food. Any occasion that was happy was celebrated with food when we could. Christmas was, we didn't have any presents at Christmas. Christmas was a full table spread of all the things we couldn't eat during the year. I remember I was probably about 10, and because South Africa, when I grew up, was very much a stereotypical girls wore bikinis and board shorts and flip-flops, and that's what you just wore. You could go to, imagine going to Tesco, and that's what you'd wear down the aisle.
That's
You would
hilarious.
That's what you lived in, and the boys would just walk around in board shorts, like trunks,
Yeah.
and and they probably had the same stereotypical thing of you had to have like a washboard stomach and you had to fit into the beach body image. But I remember I said to my mum, I've got a sore. I've got a red mark. I think it was on my thigh. And my mother turned around to me and said, that's a stretch mark. That means you're getting fat.
Oh, what? How old was you?
About 10.
Wow.
You have to stop eating so much bread. And I'm like, bread's the only thing we've got in the house. I also remember we lived very close to the ocean. Like on a really still night, you could hear the waves crashing in my bedroom. And I remember going to the beach and I couldn't swim and there were sharks. So you didn't go too far. You didn't go too far into the water. And I remember I had a cozy on. A cozy is a full one piece.
Yeah.
And I must have been about 10 or 11. And I got some wet sand between my legs and I was chafing and it was quite sore walking up the sand. I'm not sure if anyone's ever walked up the sand, like a sand dune, and had like chafing. It is like sandpaper. And
I still do, because my legs always rub together, and if there's a bit of sand there, I like try and walk like I'm waddling because I don't want
like a penguin. And my mother again said, it's because you're getting fat. You need to stop, eating, junk food. And I didn't think about it, but where was all this junk food coming from? I didn't, there was no junk food. There was no, that's just the way my body was. It was puppy fat. It was chubbiness. It was just the way my body was made at that point in time. And then when I started working, I was a waitress, so moved very quickly. So I lost a lot of weight. And I kept that off until I was about 21. But again, it was always, there wasn't, money for food wasn't a priority, put it that way. But my mother was very slim. She was short, very slim, very petite. And I always find myself comparing her to me. Like we couldn't wear the same shoes because my feet were too big. We couldn't, even though we were both a size 5. And she'd just say, you got fat feet. I don't.
Wow. This started so young for you, so young.
But my mother, when she was stressed, lived on cigarettes and caffeine. So she stopped eating completely when she was stressed. So looking back on it now, she had her own struggles and her own demons and her own eating disorder. But yeah, where am I now? probably in the beginning of November last year, I was absolutely at ground zero. Absolutely. I couldn't walk past a window, couldn't walk past anything that showed my reflection. I was going to gym 7 days a week, crying on the treadmill. I was literally plodding along and crying, saying, why am I not thin? Why am I not? I'm punishing my body for being fat and it's not working. I couldn't be intimate with my husband. I'm like, don't look at me, don't touch me. The little wee dimple between your little wee ribs. And he'd stroke that. And I said, no, don't touch me. It's disgusting. It's gross. How can you look at me? I got really, really extreme, really bad. I was struggling to fit into my wedding rings. My wedding rings had become incredibly tight, and I was holding on to the fact that I could still wear them, but they were incredibly sore to wear. So I think what we all do when we reach rock bottom, I turn to Google.
God, Google.
I turned to Google and I don't know what I searched. But all I came across was a quote from a beautiful woman. No, actually, I don't think I saw a picture of you first. I read a quote about the brownies.
Yes. Are you eating from the rubbish bin?
Yes, and the dish soap.
Yes.
And how you were scraping the dish soap off the brownies. And I turned to my husband and I said, that could have been me.
Yeah.
That could be me now. And I said to my husband, I don't know who this woman is, but I need to reach out and I need to see, what she's about. And by pure chance, by pure luck, by the universe coming together and giving me a break, your 5-day free body binge was starting, like a week before, like a week after I got in touch with you. And I actually, one of the questions you asked was, in the group, you asked, what is your intention? Why are you here? Why do you want to join this group? And I actually wrote in my journal.
Wow, I'd love to hear.
So this was a Sunday, the 20th of November. I feel like I am at ground zero, sick and tired of being on this hamster wheel of restricting, starving, punishing, hating, and then binge eating. I feel like fat, ugly failure. I feel worthless. And then you asked us to set an intention. And my intention was, I want to love, accept, have confidence. I want to feel sexy, worthy, and feel like my body and I are a team. And I found you, and the work has been so hard. There has been some struggles. You've always said, just trust the process, trust what I'm saying, trust that I've been here, trust that I know what I'm doing, and trust your body and listen to your body. And I'm like, I don't even know who my body is. I'm not listening to me. I know nothing. And you just kept saying, I'll believe in you until you believe in you. So I committed to the body blessing, which is I still do every morning. Dawn, again, an incredible support in the group, introduced me to a meditation app, which I do twice a day now, which has
Amazing.
been fabulous. So the journey has been hard to get here, and I've been on it for about 2 months now. I'm fighting depression as well as doing this course. And you wouldn't think it, but this course gives me an anchor for my depression. It gives me not a sense of control as in I'm controlling my food. It gives me a sense of control over my life and the choices that I make.
Whereabouts are you on the modules, roughly?
Module 5.
Okay.
Regular eating.
Amazing. So I know where you're at. So you've been through the intuitive eating part, and now
Yeah.
you're starting on the regular eating.
Yeah.
I just want to say before I start asking you questions around where you're at now, if you don't mind me sharing, I'm going to share it anyway, and then we can cut it out if you don't want me to. I remember when you reached out to me, when you looked at the paid group coaching, which you're now in. And then you sent me a message, an email, and said, I don't want to join the free 5-day Body Love Binge because I don't want to get so far, absolutely fall in love with it, and then not be able to afford it.
Yes.
And I just felt you in every sense of the word with my heart. And I was like, I need to make this work for this woman. And then we made it work together. And I'm so grateful that you're here and you're on this journey.
Oh, so am I. Absolutely. I looked at the webpage and I looked at the taster session, and I'm like, I just knew. I knew in my bones that this was life-changing. I knew just from your podcast, I knew from the interactions with you that this was something special and this was a crossroads. And I'm like, I looked at the cost, and I know that you say it's an investment, and it absolutely is an investment. But coming from poverty myself, I'm like, I can't invest that much in myself.
Yeah.
I'm not deserving of that. I'm not worthy of that. How could I justify spending so much money on myself? And then you break it down to how much money in therapy it would cost.
Yeah.
I broke it down into how much money I'm spending on food it'll cost. And I broke it down to how much pain I was in.
Yeah.
And whether or not I wanted to go. I'm 33. I'm like, do I want another 33 years of this? And it was absolutely not. So I spoke to my husband, and I'm like, we need to make this work. Make this work. And I knew it was life-changing the moment I started to interact with you. So thank you so much.
No, you are. It's honestly my pleasure. And I'm so grateful we get to do this today, because as part of my group, you get random one-on-one sessions, and then we can share it with the world and help others as they listen in. So
Absolutely.
what are you struggling with right now? We can go over multiple topics. It's not a problem, but let's start with the one that is, if you left this call having overcome, understood, feeling a certain way, what would that be for you that would help you immensely right now?
I have a Greek cruise coming up in July. I need to drink more water. Yes.
Always next to me, always.
I need to drink more water. I've got a cruise coming up in July, and I'm not sure I've told you, but I bought about 12 dresses, all in a size 10.
Oh,
Now,
you did.
I'm 16 now, So I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know who I thought I was and
When
how
did
much.
you buy them?
I bought them before the body binge. So I probably bought them in October. Probably bought them in my birthday month. So I bought 12 beautiful dresses. They are beautiful. And I'm like, I had this whole thing of this whole Mamma Mia vibe that I would, have the hat and I just look absolutely fabulous in a size 10. And it took me a while to realize that's not going to be possible. Simply because the last time I was a size 10 was on my wedding day 4 years ago. But my body has changed since then. And I've changed since then. So I have made peace with the fact that I probably will never fit into my wedding dress again. I've made peace with that. And that's okay, because I fitted into it once on the day that I needed to. And I have beautiful memories and I have beautiful photos of it. But I can make beautiful memories and have beautiful photos whatever size I am. I just need to remember I'm in the skin that I'm in now.
Yes.
So where I am now is I've binged and I've eaten all my trigger foods and I've put on the weight. And now I've come back onto the intuitive eating, so I can feel myself losing weight, not intentionally.
Yes.
But I can feel my clothes getting a little bit looser. So how do I make peace with the body that's changing? So it's not linear. It's getting bigger and then it's getting smaller. How do I make peace with the fact that I'm never going to really know where my weight set point is until my body's ready?
Exactly that. I love that you added that bit on at the end. When your body is ready, you will know. And the funny thing is, you've not asked this question directly, but I get asked this a lot, and it's worth mirroring it back to you because it's a similar context. When people say, I want to know what my set point is, what is my set point? My answer is, when you stop caring what your set point is, you will naturally find your set point.
Okay.
Because the energy behind what is it going to be, when am I going to get there, I just want to know where I'm going to be, and then I can just work on accepting the body I'm going to be in, and then everything will be fine. And yes, I also did that, of course I did, but that's still kind of like control, because you want to know. And so before I go into that, I just want to clarify, when you bought those size 10 dresses, was that brought from a place of fear or a place of love?
It was not love. It was out of punishment, almost, of forcing myself to prepare. So it was in October. I said, right, I've got 9 months to lose 6 stone and fit into a size 10. You're going to do it. The dresses are here. You've got no choice. So it was not out of love. It was not even out of, oh, it'll be nice if you can. It'll be nice if, if one of them fit you, that'll be great. It was, no, you're going to start starving now.
Yeah. And how has that gone for you?
Not well. Not well at all. I remember I bought the dresses and I laid them all out on the bed, and I had a panic attack, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to squeeze this body? Like a sausage case can only fit so much sausage. And I'm like, this is going to be a lot of starving, a lot of time in the gym. I'm a failure. It's not going to work. What have I done?
Yes. And the fucked up thing is, though, I've done this multiple times before, and I've learned this through diet coaches. If you buy something a size smaller or 2 or 3 sizes smaller, hang it up and look at the fucking thing every day, then apparently it motivates you to like diet. So it actually does the opposite. It make, like you've said, the words failure, not good enough. And then funnily enough, you end up eating more food because you're like, fuck it. And then food is a helpful resource to make you feel better, and you end up so far away you feel even worse at the end of it. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so with the dresses then, and I'm going to go into your question, but I feel like I need to like lead up to it. With the dresses, can you, and I know we've spoke about this on the group if I remember, can you sell them? Granted, you probably won't get the exact amount that you paid for them, but can you sell them and buy yourself half the amount of dresses at the size? I mean, here's the thing, when do you have to buy the dresses for? Because let's say you go in July.
Exactly, that's the thing. I don't know what size I'm going to be.
Yes.
I cheekily bought a size 12/14 dress because it was just so stunning. And I looked at the dress, and I actually said to my husband, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was thinner so I could wear this dress. And then I'm like, does it come in a bigger size?
Yes.
It does. It comes in a bigger size. So I bought the dress, and if I can fit into it, great. If I can't, great, fine. But what I will probably do with the dresses is I've got them right up there. Like I know that they're there, and the ladies in the group, and you told me, get rid of the dresses.
Yeah, it's not going to help seeing them or even knowing they're there. It's just going to be like, oh, you're a failure. Oh, did you forget when you open the wardrobe, you're a failure? And we don't need that energy in your life. No.
So I will get rid of them this week. I'll donate them to the Salvation Army, or shelter. I'll find a worthy cause. Although I will keep one dress. It's a large size, so I might be able to get into it. Mm-hmm. And it's Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night.
Wow.
It's in a long dress. And I was going to wear it to the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul.
Wow.
Because you've got to cover everything when you go to mosque. I'm going to keep that just because it's pretty and because there's a chance I might fit into it. But I will donate the rest of them just to be gone with them.
Yes.
And to move on.
Good for you. And the beautiful dress you're talking about that you are keeping, is that available in a bigger size? If come July you need a bit of a bigger size, you may or may not.
It is. I actually did think of reaching out to them because it's still in the package, still got the tags. Yes. Just reaching out to them saying, can I have the largest size and then take it in?
Yes, if you need to. That's what I would do. So 2 bits of homework already. Get rid of the other dresses. Mm-hmm. Reach out to the place where you bought this beautiful dress from and ask if you can do that. And then if need be, you can, because I've just bought bridesmaid dresses because I get married this year. You can have them taken in by, I think, 3 sizes if need be. So that's the plan with that.
That's the plan. That's the homework.
I would love you to tell me 3 to 5 reasons why you're not a failure because you can't get into a size 10 dress. that you believe, and I can help you if you get stuck. So you need to believe them, not just be like false positivity saying things.
5 reasons.
3 to 5, let's
3
see.
to 5, okay. 3 to 5 reasons why I am not a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't get into the dresses.
Yes.
Immediately, I will probably look beautiful in a size 16 rather than a size 10.
Yes.
I think that if I starved myself and then fell off the wagon and, ate myself into like a coma, that would be a failure to me, of falling off the wagon, eating myself into like hibernation,
Mm-hmm.
and then saying, I'll start back on Monday. I think that I am a beautiful, kind, compassionate person that is loved regardless of my size. I'm an interesting person regardless of my size. I've done a hell of a lot of soul work in the last 2 months that if I went back to that mentality, it would be a failure for me.
Yes. Oh, so much yes to all of those. And the ultimate one, diets don't work anyway for 95%. I would say 98% because the way the studies was done, at the very minimum for 95% of every people in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So you've not failed, the diets fail you and the diets fail us.
Yeah.
I love that. And so going into body acceptance, then how do you accept your body when you don't know if it's going to go up, down, stay the same? How do you do that? You told me earlier that you've made peace with the fact you're not going to be a size 10 again.
Yeah.
Tell me how you did that, because it's the same thing, just in a different way. So how is it that you've made peace with the fact you won't be a size 10 again?
I reached out to you in an absolute blind panic. When you said, and I feel resistance even saying the sentence, of how would you treat your body today as if this was your body for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Victoria, you're too much. Victoria,
Go away, Victoria.
I can't be doing with this. You're absolutely, pardon my French, but it's an absolute mind fuck. And I'm like, I can't be doing with this. You've just told me to accept my body the way it is. Now you're trying to tell me that this is what I've got for the rest of my life.
As a perception shift to learn acceptance in the moment, absolutely.
You didn't say that bit. That bit didn't come. That bit didn't come. It was accept who you are in this moment for good. And I'm like, well, that would be great, but I absolutely hate my reflection. I hate, I could stand in front of the mirror now. That's a positive, but I absolutely hate what I see. Then you said, and I wrote it down because it blew my mind. It blew my mind so much.
I love it when it blows clients' minds. I love it. I have one client who sends me an emoji of a mind blown, and she's like, "You're making my head spin again." I'm like, "Well, that's what I'm here for, right?"
And this is a quote that you've said. Some people aren't cut out to be thin.
Yeah.
And I said, this is a really scary thought, but then again, I accept I can't control my weight.
How much do you accept that on a scale of 1 to 10? With 10 being you fully surrender and believe that you cannot control your weight. Where are you on that?
Oh, absolutely a 10.
Good.
Absolutely a 10 now. Now I absolutely listen to what people say, even in the diet culture, even in the diet world, when they've said stress fluctuates your body, hormones fluctuate your body, water fluctuates your body weight, where you are on your period, age, things that you can't control. You can't control any of those things.
No.
You can't, you can't control how much water you're retaining, how much you're bloating. And that's just for us ladies. Men have their own, my husband's on a journey himself, and my husband is on he counts his macros, and he does, he's really into the diet thing, and I can only love him through it.
Yes.
But there are exercise influences it. There are so many external factors. And then here's me trying to eat a lettuce leaf, trying to undo all of those things. If I eat the lettuce leaf, I can do that for about 3 days. And then I fall off the wagon completely. And it's pizza, it's chips, it's ice cream, it's chocolate, it's carbs. And then I put on everything that I've lost, because you can't lose weight. I've lost water.
Yeah.
I will put it all on plus more.
Yeah.
So I cannot control my weight. I can control the nourishing things that I put in my body. I can control going to the supermarket and getting light mozzarella instead of full fat mozzarella, because the light mozzarella is tasty as well.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because it's important that I don't care if you eat salad all day, every day, if you genuinely want to, from a place of love, and it's emotionally and physically satisfying and pleasurable.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
You can eat 10 tubs of Ben and Jerry's and not be binging if you genuinely want it, enjoy it, and don't feel bad about having it. Dieting's not an action, it's a state of mind. So I love that you said that.
I've been off work for a couple of weeks with depression, and my appetite has not been what it usually is. So I've had to force the regular eating. I've had to lovingly force it. Of, you have to have your Weet-Bix and milk now. You have to have a lunch. You have to have a dinner. But we've been. I'm not sure how long have you been in almost a Dutchland? How long have you been in the Netherlands now?
Bijna 5 years, almost 5 years now.
So we've got Lidl and Aldi.
Oh, we
I love
have
Lidl.
both of those.
I've come across Lidl now, and we have these butternut squash and goat cheese Wellingtons with Brussels sprouts and chestnuts. So we're eating a variety of foods, a variety of tasty foods that help him and me, but we can cook at the same time.
Yes, that's important.
So we're making different choices. We're making different choices, but I'm going for nourishing, tasty food that like piques my interest.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, we haven't had goat's cheese and that before. Let's have that. Let's try that. Where it would usually be bolognese and cheese.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? When you give yourself full permission and allowance to eat whatever you want, you are then able to make a choice, because in the moment when someone is binge eating, it's so compulsive, it literally feels like you don't have a choice. And that's why when people who don't understand and who haven't got the genetic component to have an eating disorder, my fiance used to say the same, just stop eating chocolate. No one's forcing it in your mouth. No one's picking it up and oh my God, how fucking angry does that make you? When people say that, it feels like you don't have a choice.
No.
But when you allow and give yourself permission and surrender to the truth, I cannot control my body size. And you're going to have a lot of feelings that come up around that, like not fairness, I don't believe it, and anger. But when you fully surrender to that and accept the truth, you then have so much space to make a choice of, I'm going to add these veggies into this. You don't have to go all or nothing, binge food or diet food. You actually start to be able to choose.
Yeah.
And that's what you've experienced.
I think, and the one thing I can say to the listeners, and the one thing I can say to people watching this is, if I was digging in the bin alongside with you to get to the brownies, which that would be something that I could so do. That is something, my soul connected with that. Of just like scoffing things, so much so that I'd be choking because I'm just trying to get it down my throat as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Not tasting it.
No, that's the funny thing. We don't even enjoy it when we have a binge because you just like inhaling it and then you feel so bad and then diet and do it again. So you don't even get pleasure from the food.
No. All I can say is that this is a process, and your brain adjusts.
Yes.
Your brain adjusts when you go through the process of the program.
Yes.
Because I had so much resistance from the get-go. I'm like, she looks beautiful. She says beautiful things. There are beautiful people on the program who have, stand by her. Why is there so much resistance?
Yeah.
But your brain makes way for it. Your brain, you just trust. And you take the first step, you trust it. You take the next step, you trust it. And I've gone from not being able to look into the mirror, not being able to go to gym because of punishment. I had my Fitbit, and it would be a failure of a day if I didn't hit 12,000 steps. I didn't earn the day if I didn't hit 12,000 steps. And the first thing I did was put it in the drawer.
Yes, I was going to ask you, can I see your wrist if you've got anything on?
No, don't have any. And I bought my husband bought me a box standard beautiful watch for my birthday. So I don't need a Fitbit to tell the time. But now I go to gym, and it's hard because I have the depression, and the depression is trying to get through so much mental shit. But there's like a 20-minute walk up a big hill to go to the gym where I am. So my husband gave me a little wee nugget of advice of, get to the top of the hill, that's your aim. Get to the traffic lights, that's your aim. Get to the gym, that's your aim. Get to the treadmill, that's your aim. And you make it, you achieve your achievements. And I now exercise because it nourishes my body. It's good for my body. I now go to the gym because I have a goal. And my goal is to run 5K in 30 minutes. Wow. And I want to finish the Couch to 5K because you get a little wee trophy and you get a little wee app and you get a thing, and I want that.
You will have it.
Exactly. I want to work towards something, finish what I start, and get healthier. And I would never have been able to do that if I hadn't had gone through the program and gone through the resistance of, does she know what she's talking about?
Yeah, because
You know,
I'm basically telling you the opposite of everything you've been told your whole
absolutely.
entire life. So if there is no resistance, there is no growth. And you, of course, know that.
There was so much resistance, but in every step that I've taken, you've been there. And in every step that I've taken, the ladies, I'm sure there's a few men. There's been, on the Facebook group, on the Discord channel, there has been support with every single step that I've taken. And it's an absolute life-changing moment. It's an absolute life-changing moment. But for someone that never thought I'd get out of the hole that I was in, that someone would be able to help me out the hole and put down the chocolate, put down the binge eating, put down the negativity and the hate and the hurtful things that I'd say to myself in the mirror. I can now do a body blessing, which is an incredible thing. I do it every morning. I do my body blessing naked. And I see the little wee curves of my hips. I see the curves of my little wee tum-tum. I've worked on I've worked on my bottom half, and now I've got to work on my double chin. I've got to like send love, peace, and compassion to my double chin. So we're growing. We're growing and we're learning, and I'm definitely on Team Miriam. I'm
Yes.
definitely on Team Miriam. I don't call myself fat anymore. I called myself fat yesterday, and my husband told me off.
Good. Can you
And
think of a better word to call yourself?
I think Lizzo would like come up with like voluptuous.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Not that fat is bad, by the way. A lot of fat women have taken back the word fat as a positive descriptive word. Of course, it has so much negative connotations around it because of the way it's used. So I agree with you. I'm not in a fat body, but if I was, I don't know how comfortable I would be with using that word. So I think only because of all the conditioning around it. So I think I would pick voluptuous. I mean, even that word is like, I just think of marshmallow yumminess.
Yeah. 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 No. Another important fact that I had my heels in the ground with is a couple of years ago, there was a beautiful lady, very striking. I think she had tattoos and red hair, and she was definitely a larger lady, and she was on the cover of Cosmopolitan. She was on the cover of Cosmo, and I saw it in the racks, and I'm like, we shouldn't glorify that.
Wow.
It's not healthy. We shouldn't glorify that. I don't ever want to feel fat positive like that. You know, she needs to lose weight because it's not healthy. And then you happened, and then this happened. And I realized, as long as she's healthy, as long as her blood work is fine and she's happy and she's healthy and she's making her choices, paying her bills, I've got no right to have an opinion on her body.
No.
Just as no one has a right of an opinion on my body. And it's not about who's fatter than who. It's not about who's thinner than who. Because I'm used to walking into a room thinking, oh, I'm the biggest one here. I'm the fattest one here. You know, I used to call myself a hippopotamus a lot. I'd be like, I'm the hippopotamus in the room. And I try and laugh it off, but it would absolutely hurt me.
Yeah.
So again, what I do is if I have that flicker of noticing if someone's body is bigger or thinner than mine, I just quietly say, that thought isn't really helpful right now in my head. That thought isn't helpful to me or that person, and I just move on from that thought.
Amazing, because health isn't a size either.
No.
And even if someone, let's say someone is in a large body, let's say they're not healthy, whatever that means, because health is a huge umbrella, but let's say they have great mental health and they're happy, that's also up to them.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And I would love to, though, Miriam, coach you through how you see your face in this area that you was pointing to earlier, if you're willing to go into it with me.
Victoria, I can't say no to you.
Thank you.
My Dutch guru, you know.
I show you how to find the guru that is within you.
Okay.
So
I have always struggled with my double chin.
What do you make that mean? So let's say, finish this sentence. And this is in your words. I'm not saying you have, but I'm using your words back to you. Finish the sentence. I have a double chin, and that means?
I look fat.
I look fat, and that means?
I'm ugly.
I'm ugly, and that means?
I'm less than.
I am less than because I think I'm ugly. Is that true?
It could be true. I don't know.
Give me 2 scores because they'll be different. How true does it feel for you if you hear the words, like as if you were saying it to yourself, I am less than because I think I'm ugly? How true does that feel to you? 10 being it feels so true.
I think about an 8.
Okay. How true, using your intellectual mind, and we're going to bridge the gap, by the way, how intellectually true, absolutely true is this? I am less than because I think I'm ugly.
It's really not, is it?
Not when you use your intellectual brain, but obviously we're not going to dismiss your feeling because
No.
you're a human, you have feelings.
It would definitely be low. I'd say about 3, 2.
Great. So bear with me as I ask random questions. These questions are been inspired from Byron Katie. Have you got to her book yet that I've recommended on the group called Loving What Is?
No, I'm on My Body's Not an Apology.
Okay, great. Sonia Marie Taylor. The Loving What Is incredible. So I'm going to ask a few questions that she asks. So the statement, we'll go with the statement. I am less than because I think I'm ugly. It feels an 8 out of 10 true, but intellectually, you know, it's a 3 out of 10 true.
Yeah.
Who would you be, or how would you feel if you were incapable of thinking that thought?
I'd just carry on, wouldn't I?
How would you feel if you didn't have the ability to think the thought, oh my God, double chin, which means this, 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 and this, at the root of it, I am not good enough, I am less than?
It would be like a blank space. It wouldn't show up. I'd be able to look at my reflection. I'd be able to take a photograph. I'd be able to lie down, and you know when you like look a little like a little pug, you know when You look.
Yeah, my dog does some, and also I'm not, but when I have my camera and it flips around and I can see myself.
But I've noticed that since I've put on weight, I used to have a little double chin, but now I've got like this my husband calls it my extra neck. He means it lovingly. He means it lovingly, but it's like just this extra part that is thicker almost, and it's very visible to me. It's very visible to me. So I've made peace with like my curves and my hips, but I think I can cover everything else up. I just can't cover this up.
Yeah, and so that's why we're going to make it not matter.
Okay.
So here's another question. Have you got any positive reason to hold on to the thought, I am not enough or I am less than because I think I'm ugly?
No.
Okay, so that doesn't magically make it better. However, another question, what if you looked in the mirror and you saw your reflection and you saw your double chin and you saw your hair, and what if it didn't matter that you thought you looked ugly? How does that feel, and what comes up for you when I say that? What if it didn't matter that you didn't like your double chin?
It would be a relief.
Relief, freedom, peace.
Mm.
And so how you accepted your curves, your voluptuous body, how you got there, can you bring that into this area? And this is a question that only you can answer to tell me. Can you link the two up and perhaps then share with me why it's more difficult for you in this part?
It's going to sound strange, but I've got like a short mirror. So I haven't seen, and we've been doing building work, so I haven't really seen my reflection. Like I haven't really seen my face. Like I've washed my face and I've done my cream and I've done everything, but I've kind of done it blindly. So I haven't seen my reflection of my face for 2 weeks. Like I see it in the little wee mirror, but I think I haven't been paying as much love and attention, and as I haven't been doing the body blessing. Like the body blessing stopped here. So I think the body blessing has to go up here. So from like my toes right up to my head. So my tummy used to be my issue, the real, I used to hate my tummy. I used to call myself Winnie the Pooh, and I'd stand like this with my little wee arms out because my tummy like in a little wee crop top, and I'd like self-deprecating joke about it. So I'd bring attention to it so other people didn't point it out.
Yes, that's common.
But I think what I need to do is I need to extend the body blessing up to my face. Like when I was on the treadmill, I could see my little wee cheeks, which have gotten bigger. Like I saw my little wee cheeks in my vision. I need to love that. I need to accept that. And I need to.
Do you need to, or do you get to?
I get to.
You know how, and I love that your husband's so incredible, because I used my fiance to help me love myself. He was my support. Only I could love me, but he loved me first and unconditionally. And I was very confused as to, like you were, how can you want to touch me? Like, I don't understand. And the anger's there. And so when he sees you and he says that cute little thing, you've got, what did he say? You've got another neck or something?
Yeah, but that's my other neck.
Yeah. So he says that out of love, and it's just part of who you are. And if he was wearing glasses, he would be wearing glasses that just look at you through the eyes of love.
Yeah.
I want you, when you're doing the body blessing, I mean, I don't know how you're going to do it. You might have to like crouch down so you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
see like
Yeah.
as much as you include in your whole face. I want you to, you can even physically, this will be very powerful. I actually used to do this, physically pretend or put actually glasses on and be
Okay.
like, I'm getting my love glasses on.
Okay.
Actually physically get sunglasses or like pretend like, right, I'm putting my glove glasses on and practice seeing your whole face, including your body, through the eyes of love
Okay.
and see what happens, because it doesn't matter that you think you have a double chin. You can still love. How true does this feel? How true does this feel to you? I can still live a life that I love with a double chin.
That's, you know, that's powerful. Like, even I can make beautiful memories. I'm still the person I am. I can still, my body keeps me alive with or without a double chin.
How would your life be different if you magically didn't have a double chin?
I think I'd still be the same person. I'd still do the same things. I'd still love the same way. I would still live the same way. People would still take me as I am.
Can you see that even though sometimes in the moment, something we hate about ourselves or dislike about ourselves, or even in your case, just find it difficult to accept now, but I really think you'll be able to after this and with practice, it can seem like such a big thing in our life that we must get right. And but actually, when we allow ourselves to go there and be like, okay, because I used to say to myself, okay, Vic, how would your life actually be different if you lost weight? And the only thing that I could come up with was I would like the way I looked when I looked in the mirror. And
Yeah,
then I would ask myself, so if that's the only thing that would change in your life, is it worth it? All this self-hate, all this failed dieting, all the stuff that comes with trying to quote, do something about it and you don't succeed anyway, is it worth it? No, it is not worth it. And then I could just surrender and relax and just live my life because we're all going to die anyway.
yeah, yeah,
That helped me.
yeah. I know this is going to sound morbid and terrible, but I was so stuck in the past. I was so stuck in my wedding day and being a size 10.
Mm-hmm.
I told my husband, if I die, I want to be buried in my wedding dress.
Wow.
And he's like, I love my husband. He was like, I'm going to have to cut the back up a bit.
Just lay it on top.
And he said, why do you, he said, first of all, why are you thinking that way? And second of all, he said, we can buy you another dress. We can make memories in other dresses. But yeah, I got so stuck that I had to do a lot of work to step out of the past and step out of my life is perfect when I am a size 10.
Yes, exactly that. It's not.
No.
You believed it was, which is why you had so much pain when you weren't a size
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
And you already said in this conversation a while back, you're not that woman anymore.
No.
You've evolved, you've grown, you've made more memories, you've got new experiences. We're always evolving.
Yeah.
So it's okay to let that version of us go
Yeah.
and to love that version of us and to sometimes think, I looked awesome then.
Yeah.
That be okay. And then choose to fully accept and love yourself in each moment, because what other choice do you have?
Life's too short to absolutely be at war with my body.
Yes. And it doesn't work anyway. It would be having a different conversation if war worked.
Yeah.
It doesn't even work.
No. No, it's hard. It's bitterly hard and it's lonely. That's why I'm so grateful for your program. I'm so grateful that you had to go through all the horrible things that you've done and all the hard things that you've done and all the learning that you've done to get to the place where you are now, where you can change lives.
Thank you. I'm grateful that I've been through that. And, you know, I've got a podcast interview Monday, actually, and you'll hear this as it comes out because I'll share it. But she's already shared a few of the questions she's going to ask, which I don't mind because I like to be asked random. I don't like to plan. I just like, give it to me and I'll give you something what comes. One of the questions she's going to ask me is, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self, what would you say? And, you know, the only thing I would say, I love you. I wouldn't say do anything different.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't say, because I needed to go through what I went through in order to be the woman I am today. So I would simply say, I love you.
I'd say, I love you. Stay away from that one boy.
No.
Stay away from that one boy. No, you can't. I get it.
What did you learn from that boy? You would have learned and grown from that relationship, as hard as it may have been.
Oh, I absolutely have. Most importantly, you are not a possession. You are worthy. You are beautiful. And you are your own woman.
There you go. So would you wanted the younger you to stay away from that boy with those learnings taken out of that?
Oh, no. And I've learned what a real Prince Charming is. Like I've married a proper Prince Charming.
And he's got a beautiful queen as well, so he's very blessed.
Yes, he is. But again, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for sharing your gift.
You're so welcome. I have one last question for you. As soon as you brought the subject of death up, I'm going to roll with that.
Okay, go roll with that.
At your funeral, when you're really old, like over 100, so like all your friends and family are old and whatever, whoever.
I'm old and wrinkly.
Exactly. What would you want them to be saying about you at your funeral?
How much I loved cats. How kind I was. How thoughtful I was. And the positive impact I made on their lives.
And so there's nothing there about not having a double chin. Funny that.
No.
It's connected to what really matters. And I know you are, and you have, and you're doing this. It's connecting to what really matters. And when you look in the mirror, and of course, anyone listening to this as well, if you go to the mirror and you're having a really bad time and you're having a hard time accepting something, ask yourself, does this really matter? What are my values on the grand scale of life? When who knows if we get tomorrow, not everyone, we don't know that. Is it worth it? All the suffering, is it worth it? And the answer will always be no.
No.
And then let it go and just keep practicing that. And obviously I am so excited for you to get to the body image modules. You're just going to die with like excitement. There's so much to come for you. I cannot wait.
I think what I'm most blessed with and I'm most proud of is right now I know that I wouldn't eat those brownies out the bin.
Yes. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd leave them. I'd be like, they're in the bin. I can either go buy new brownies.
Yes.
I can go make new brownies. I can go get something else that's tasty. But I don't have to go dumpster diving.
Amen to that. And why don't you?
Exactly.
Because...
I don't like brownies, but I'd be shoving brownies down my throat anyway.
And you don't have to do that because you're no longer restricting, and you're no longer binging because you're no longer restricting.
No.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. And like I say, I cannot wait for your reaction to when you get to the body image modules. Wow.
It's going to be lovely. I can't wait.
Me neither. And thank you so much for allowing this to happen, because this will help so many people. So
I hope
thank
so.
you.
I hope so.
All right, my
Thank you
love.
so much. Thank you to you.
You're welcome. And I will see you in the group, my love. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Bye,
Lots of
lovely.
love.
Lots of love.
Bye, sweetheart. Bye bye.